The mainstream media and social media are going crazy with praising Mark Drakeford in Wales for giving England a few million of their unused lateral flow tests. Who's ready for some debunking of some fake news or semi-misleading news? You must have heard over the last few hours and yesterday and today that Wales and the Welsh Labour government are so generous that they are sending a huge chunk of their unused lateral flow tests, 4 million lateral flow tests, to England. They're lending them to England. They're not even giving, they're just lending them to England. And a number of people from the left and the liberal left and the mainstream media and also on Twitter and everywhere are saying how generous Mark Drakeford is. We're going to tell you the truth about the reality of this 4 million lateral flow tests that have been lent to England. Well, are you ready? Some of you have already known what the reality is. Some of you have been keeping up to date with how central government have been providing support. But let's look at the reactions, because we have members of the Welsh Labour Party and others on Twitter and a number of pundits who should know better are saying, for example, one tweet says, well, Wales loans England millions of the lateral flow tests because it's so worrying, the shortage in England before New Year's Eve. You are welcome, Sajid Javid. It's what good neighbours do. Interesting. Okay. Another one says, it's always nice to be able to help one of those failed states you hear about on the news. A failed state of England, they say. Well, what is the truth behind this 4 million lateral flow tests? From day one, in March 2020, the big decisions that affects the whole of the Union were implemented by Westminster, Downing Street, and the Whitehall machine. It was Downing Street that provided the testing support and the funding of it for all the different parts of the UK. So all these tests that Mark Drakeford is now lending to England came from England. They came from London. The funding of it and the whole of the implementing the project of testing came from Whitehall and Westminster, and also using English taxpayers' money, because whether you like it or not, the English taxpayers are the biggest funders of HMRC compared to Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland. So in terms of the proportion, the percentage of the population and the ratio that we have, the rich and the middle classes and the working classes. Not only that, if you want more evidence, it was actually completely the Westminster government that had been giving completely emergency funding money to all these different parts of the union, up to a point where even in February last year, well, this year, just finishing now, obviously, a few hours to go, they gave another £650 million extra to Wales because Mark Drakeford just misused the money. He was like, I don't know where I put the rest of it. I got a few million, not sure where it's gone. And my good friend Nicola Sturgeon also lost some of her money. So Westminster, English taxpayers, can you give us some more money? Can you help us with more testing? And then, because they don't need it anymore, they say, well, we're going to have to give the tests back to the UK, to England. And then they say, well, we are being generous, that the UK government are in need of support and we are going to support them. Like, obviously, it's a good thing that the Welsh government are giving back some of these tests. It's nice, fine, good neighbours. But don't pretend that these are your tests. Don't pretend that you're just being generous and helping a failed state. It's embarrassing. There are a lot of more people in England. Of course, there will be more unused tests for lateral flow tests in Wales. Grow up. That's not how politics should work. And that's not how the media should react to this news. It's fake news. That's what we are here to debunk, these fake and misleading stories. If you agree with me, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and also don't forget, you have to click on a bell next to the subscribe button, otherwise you will not get notified. We have a couple of more updates for you guys throughout the evening before we reach New Year's Eve. Happy New Year, and we are the media.